Tonight on Cronkite News, Valley veterans make use of new benefits provided by the government.
Plus, the breakthrough way to treat those who've been overheating from the heat, developed by a local doctor.
And the story of a local high school football player who is making a return to the field after a major off-season surgery. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Crystal Stone.
And I'm Shai Gara. Thank you for joining us.
Arizona veterans are taking advantage of expanded health care eligibility for veterans of the Vietnam War, the Gulf War, and post-9/11 eras. The law, which went into effect last year, covers veterans exposed to numerous toxic substances, such as burn pits and Agent Orange.
Reporter Ariana Ariza attended the National Convention of Foreign Wars earlier today and talked to veterans who were filing claims.
U.S. veterans give a standing ovation for VA Secretary Dennis McDonough in support of the Veterans Benefits expansion.
We're going to keep our sacred promise to those who served and sacrificed, to serve all of you veterans as well as you have served us.
At the National Convention, veterans like Robert Hampton were able to file their claims, receive a toxic exposure screening, and visit booths providing healthcare resources.
I was in Desert Storm. I was on numerous supply ships with H-46s out of HC-11 in San Diego, mainly served in Oman, Jordan.
Hampton is concerned that exposure to toxic chemicals over his 16 and a half years of service plays a role in his struggle to breathe with COPD and high blood pressure. The VA is encouraging veterans like Hampton to file their claims by August 9th in order to receive compensation for backdated benefits.
Thank you. Good work. Thank you.
In a separate room, Secretary McDonough thanked workers helping veterans file their claims. Hundreds of veterans came to the Phoenix Convention Center to take advantages of services and to hear Secretary McDonough.
God bless our nation's service members, our veterans, their families, their caregivers, and their survivors. Thank you very much.
In Phoenix, Ariana Ariza, Cronkite News.
The blistering heat wave in Phoenix has turned heads for its record highs, but alongside rising temps come a surge in heat-related injuries across the valley.
Alexandria Cullen tells us one hospital is making headlines for its innovative treatment to save lives of heat stroke victims.
Confusion, loss of consciousness, or even seizures are all symptoms of heat stroke, an extremely serious illness that medical personnel across the valley are seeing more of.
Valleywise Health Medical Center is starting to see more heat-related injuries in their emergency room as Phoenix temps continue to hit triple digits for the 26th consecutive day. But with no end in sight, doctors are combating the surge in patients by using body bags filled with ice to treat heat stroke.
So we have everything prepared. We have little packets that we have already made like in-house. It's not a commercially available sort of package, but we have a body bag, a central core temperature probe. So we use Foley catheter probes. So a tube that's inserted into the urethra and takes the temperature that's inside the patient rather than like a skin or something like that, as well as our ice that's always on hand.
The treatment is now standard protocol at the hospital as they are seeing several heat stroke specific patients a shift.
I work either 8 or 12-hour shifts usually, and it's not uncommon for me to see 1 or 2 personally and maybe have one of my other colleagues seeing one other one.
And although this method may be new, Dr. Comp says the treatment is showing promise.
It's going to either cool patients faster or a little bit more effectively. And we are working on trying to study that to actually find if there are truly scientific improvements and benefits. Anecdotally, we're able to cool people down really, really fast, much faster than what we were doing when we were doing a regular evaporative only process.
When it comes to staying safe in the hot temperatures, there are plenty of precautions you can take. Be sure to drink lots of water, seek shade, and stay inside whenever possible. Pay close attention to the forecasted weather when planning your daily schedule. In the newsroom, Alexandria Cullen, Cronkite News.
Well, it's been another day of record-breaking heat here in the valley. John Kuzi joins us now from the Weather Center to explain.
Thanks, Shai. And you know what they say, Records are made to be broken, and that's exactly what we are doing here in the Valley, as we've seen 26 straight days over 110 degrees in Phoenix. But that's not all. Even the mornings are hot, with 16 consecutive mornings over 90. As we look at our day planner on Wednesday, it's going to be a lot more of the same. 98 really early in the morning, but after that, triple digits throughout with a high of 116. I will have more for you in the full forecast.
Well, it's been so hot that Desert Botanical Garden in Phoenix has decided to close early. The garden is usually open until 8 p.m. during the summer, but today it closed at 2 p.m. And the same goes for tomorrow. The very last admission is at noon, and as of now, the plan is to resume normal hours on Thursday.
Turning up the heat in the pool is Arizona State's Leon Marchand, who made history Sunday when he broke Michael Phelps' world record in the 400 IM at the World Aquatic Championships in Japan. Marchand took home gold for France and beat Phelps' last individual swimming world record. Marchand swam a 4:02.50, taking over 1.3 seconds off Phelps' time, and becomes the first swimmer ever to break the 4-minute and 3-second mark. Phelps was in the building as he called the race and was on hand to present Marchand with his gold medal.
In recent discussions about college media rights deals, questions have been raised about what the Pac-12 will do and what the conference will look like in the age of conference realignment.
Last July, UCLA and USC announced they would leave the conference and join the Big Ten in 2024, but there's been no other movement since.
These questions were at the forefront of the discussion with the Pac-12 Commissioner George Kielikoff last weekend during Pac-12 Media Days in Las Vegas. Kielikoff downplayed any concerns about realignment and said the delay in signing a media rights deal played in the conference's favor. He stressed a new deal is on the horizon and the conference remains unified.
It's not a concern. Our schools are committed to each other and to the Pac-12. We'll get our media rights deal done. We'll announce the deal. I think the realignment that's going on in college athletics will come to an end for this cycle. And then the truth is we've got bigger fish to fry. You know, there are incredible opportunities and also challenges in front of college athletics. And I need to be able to work with all of my colleagues in Division I and particularly in the A5. And we'll do that. And we'll move past, you know, kind of all the bitter squabbling of the last year and we'll work together to make college athletics better.
Coming up next, how one organization is helping athletes see a world outside of sports.
And how a local athlete is taking full advantage of the skills she's learned.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
this is Sensei Garage,
to sports coverage,
against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news.
The bill also gives parents the ability to see,
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
This is CN2 Go. I'm Emily Olson with your Wednesday news briefing.
Do you want to create innovative content for Cronkite News? Do you enjoy listening to podcasts? Then CN2 Go is for you. Cronkite News to Go is a podcast where students cover the latest headlines. Students become audio producers and hosts and will learn how to write, record, and edit stories. You can listen to the latest episodes on these platforms.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Pales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
Football is a tough and dangerous sport as is, but when you add in the recovery process of a major surgery on someone who is just in high school, it can be even more challenging.
Cronkite reporter Eduardo Morales helps share the story of a young high school football player.
It's a remarkable journey from facing the prospect of never playing football again to finishing his high school career and possibly playing at the collegiate level. I spent some time with Raymond Jones and his family as he made his comeback from the operating table to the gridiron. Raymond Jones is going into his senior season of playing football at Cactus High School. However, apart from it being his senior season, Raymond is also recovering from a major open heart surgery.
I was born with a ventricular septal defect. Basically, there was a hole next to my aortic valve. When I was born, they wanted to do surgery, but my mom was too scared, so they said that we could try to wait it off and see if it fixes naturally. But it got to the point where if I waited any longer, it would just continue to get worse, so they had to get that taken care of.
Despite the seriousness of his procedure, Raymond didn't seem to be intimidated. Instead, all he could think about was the love he has for the game and the fear of not being able to play again.
That was the scariest thing. That was the first thing that crossed my mind when I first found out. I've been playing football since I was little, and it's kind of like my escape from the world. And the fact that I thought I wasn't going to be able to finish my senior season with my team and my coaches, and football's been my life.
Raymond's passion also transcends into the team's culture as well, since he is one of the leaders in the locker room, constantly pushing his teammates to get better.
Raymond's our leader, so anytime one of your leaders goes down, I think it kind of has an effect in kind of an indirect way through a lot of areas, from how our kids work out in the weight room to holding each other accountable, that kind of stuff. He's one of the guys that is the glue of the team.
While Raymond obviously battled through a major adversity, he was not the only one suffering from a surgery. The major surgery affected his family and his friends as well.
Well, I did start crying, right? Like, as soon as she said it, I was just like in shock. I was speechless, and tears were just rolling down my face, and I was like, oh my gosh.
However, in the face of turmoil and a state of unknown, the family, along with their faith, were able to stick together and see through this difficult time.
My mom is absolutely the best. When I was in the hospital, she didn't leave my side. She was feeding me, taking care of me, and I love my mom so much. She did everything for me, and she was the main one helping me get through that. And obviously God too, man. I prayed every day, and God got me through this, so I'm just so grateful.
Raymond is just one of many stories that shows how family, passion, and determination can help one overcome some pretty serious obstacles. According to Raymond's family in ABC 15, his inspiring story will be shared after a Monday Night Football game this season. Speaking of the NFL, the Cardinals opened training camp today. Players reported to State Farm Stadium. Their first workout will be held tomorrow, and fans can get their first look at the team on Thursday. In the newsroom, Eduardo Morales, Cronkite News.
For many Black and brown girls, life after sports can be daunting, leaving some without a sense of direction. But I explored how one student athlete's chosen family helped her find her way, tapping into a well of confidence she had all along.
I just think it's important to talk about this stuff, because if I don't, who else is going to?
18-year-old Alexis Cardenas has something to say, but that wasn't always the case.
I'm not the type to talk a lot. I used to be really quiet.
Cardenas grew up in a neighborhood that she says was low income and where drugs were prevalent, and in a home with parents who were still kids themselves.
My mom was 16 and my dad was 18 when they had me. So they were young, they fought. And I used to have to be their communicator.
To take her mind off the troubles at home, Cardenas turned to sports and fell in love with basketball.
It was just my escape. I just always found something in sports that helped me relieve stress and just be able to do what I love.
Over the years, injuries came and went. So did the pandemic. But Cardenas says one thing helped her push through.
I think what really kept me going was the family that you get when playing sports.
A family she found while playing for a club team called MVP Basketball. MVP founder John Chavez connected with Cardenas' stepfather, Tomas Stanton, who runs Project Lit, a literacy program out of the Mesa Arts Center. Together, they work to serve young women athletes of color.
We are intentional about creating opportunities for those who have been deprived of those opportunities. We are going to go work in the communities that we come from, that look like us, that represent our values.
While Cardenas played point guard for Bourget Catholic, she was drawn to the space MVP basketball gave to girls who look like her with similar backgrounds and experiences.
Because we're people of color and women, we have somewhere to go where people show us that we're valuable. You feel like you're alone in everything, but coming here, you have your girls, and you're not alone.
In fact, Cardenas is one of many. According to the NCAA, there are nearly 400,000 female high school basketball players in the U.S., but only 4% of them play on the collegiate level, and those athletes have less than a 1% chance of making it to the WNBA. A bleak reality that leaves many student athletes struggling to find their identity after their playing days are done.
I call them the lost years, and it's this whole gap where I was just kind of working and getting into trouble and I didn't know who I was at all.
Monique Espinoza, a former high school softball player, is the coordinator of Catching Excellence, an annual one-day summit in June co-hosted by MVP Basketball and Project Lit. It helps female athletes make the transition from high school sports to their next chapter in the professional world.
Bringing this program to these students and giving them kind of some insight into showing look, that you already play a sport, and whether it goes somewhere or it doesn't, you have a ton of transferable skills.
The summit brings in former women basketball players who have become successful professionals and educators.
There's girls that don't get this type of opportunity.
Adriana Hernandez is one of the girls who did. Now studying at Phoenix College, Hernandez came back for this year's summit.
I don't really speak out. I don't really speak out, so it kind of taught me to find my voice.
Espinoza says the summit has had a noticeable impact on Cardenas too.
She's always been a little bit more reserved if you don't know her, but after the summit, she's has this different type of confidence and assertiveness. I think that's a testament to what this program could do.
Now Cardenas and her teammates use their voices here at the Mesa Arts Center, where they record an all-student-led podcast and give perspectives on their lives as student athletes.
My dream is that she'll run the family business as the CEO, but I think that outside of that, I think she just has that leadership, that innate leadership quality that she'll run something.
With a voice all her own.
I'm starting to be more open and be the leader that I should be off the court, not just on the court.
Cardenas will be entering her sophomore year at Scottsdale Community College, where she's playing basketball and studying exercise science to become an athletic trainer. What was once her escape has now become her purpose. In her free time, Cardenas serves as an engagement specialist for Catching Excellence, getting the word out for more girls to join the program.
Coming up next, President Biden creates a brand new national monument. After the break, we'll tell you about this national monument honoring the late Emmett Till.
Plus, could there be a cool down on the horizon? Your weather forecast is next.
My heart is racing right now.
Fasten your seatbelt.
You're uncovering the truth.
These are consequential things. Yeah.
Oh, look at everybody.
I feel the presence of all these people. I've got history.
No.
I wish my mom could be here to see this.
Amazing.
It's like the most vital stuff, right?
Tuesdays on Arizona PBS.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
This is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news,
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
Earlier today, President Biden signed a proclamation establishing a national monument named after Emmett Till and his mother.
Emmett was just 14 when he was killed after a white woman accused him of whistling at her.
The president's signature today officially created the national monument, consisting of 3 sites in Illinois and Mississippi that tell Emmett's story, including the church where his memorial service was held back in 1955. The proclamation comes on what would have been Emmett's 82nd birthday.
Well, it appears a shipping nightmare for all of us that use UPS may have been avoided.
That's because UPS and the Teamsters Union have reached a tentative deal on a new contract.
That means a planned strike could be averted. As part of the new deal, UPS will increase wages and add air conditioning to some small delivery vehicles in the U.S. The new deal still needs to be ratified by about 340,000 Teamsters. By the way, UPS ships about 24 million packages on an average day.
And investigators are trying to figure out what caused this gas line to explode today in Virginia. We do know that it was an energy pipeline that exploded, sending fireballs into the air and scorching the earth. The good news, no one was hurt.
Well, back here in the valley, it sure feels like a fireball when you step outside.
Tell me about it, Crystal. John Kuzi joins us now to tell us how long these extreme temps will stick around.
Thanks, Shai. As we look at our evening planner here, you can see once that sun goes down and the clouds come out, there's going to be a little bit of relief, but not a whole lot to write home about. As we look at our future cast here, Tuesday evening, got those aforementioned clouds there in Phoenix. And then as we move into Wednesday morning, not a whole lot happening in Arizona, but Wednesday evening, look, rain, clouds, the relief, it's on the way. As we move into our lows for Wednesday, 93 in Phoenix, 57 in Flagstaff, and 54 in the Grand Canyon. So if you want to escape the heat, best head up north. Going into our highs, who would have guessed it? 118 in Phoenix, above 110 again, and pushing 120. Up north, 89 in Flagstaff, 90 in the Grand Canyon. Speaking of that hot sun, it's important to know that you need to stay protected. Wednesday, it's going to be an extreme UV, which gives a burn time of 10 to 15 minutes. So it's important that you remember that sunscreen, sunglasses, and hat. As we move into our 8-day forecast here, the 1 teens, but look at Friday, cloud coverage. And then as we roll into the weekend here, more clouds. The relief is on the way. 20% chance of precipitation in the week. So we're almost there. Arizona, hold on. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm John Kuzi.
Well, they say age is nothing but a number.
After the break, meet the woman who really proves that to be true, because she's been giving swimming lessons for more than 50 years, and she's still going strong.
My heart is racing right now. Fasten your seatbelt.
You're uncovering the truth.
These are consequential things. Yeah.
Oh, look at everybody.
I feel the presence of all these people. I've got history.
No.
I wish my ma could be here to see this.
Amazing.
It's like the most vital stuff, right?
Tuesdays on Arizona PBS.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music
This is Sun City Garage.
to sports coverage
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
and entertainment updates, Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
A 102-year-old woman is making a difference in her community.
For more than 50 years, she's been teaching young ones how to swim. Peggy Konzak spends her time here helping babies aged 6 months to 3 years old become used to the water at a community YMCA pool. Peggy has been teaching kids how to swim at YMCA since 1968, and she believes that she's not done working. She's actually playing, and at 102 years old, she has no plans of stopping. Peggy has taught at the same pool for so long, she's helped many generations of the same family learn how to swim and become used to the water.
That's it for Cronkite News. Thank you for joining us.
And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.